What time is it exactly? Well, time to review the Pebble smartwatch, of course. You may know Pebble as the most successfully funded Kickstarter of all time, and for good reason. It attracted a lot of attention because it's a smartwatch. Basically, what you can do is pair it with your smartphone. It can be Android running 2.33 or later, or an iPhone, either a 3GS or later running iOS 5 or later. And once you do that, in addition to seeing this nice little custom watch you can also get other watch faces, and you can link it to have notifications. You can have basic controls. But before we get into any of that, let's just take a look at the watch itself. The buttons that you saw me pressing just now are the navigation buttons, up and down, obviously, to go to the next place. This is select. And this goes to your menu button whenever you need to make some changes or launch a particular app. You just press that button. And once you're happy with your selection, you just press it again. On the left, you see the charging area. It uses standard USB charging to charge through a computer or wall. It doesn't come with a wall adapter, but most USB wall adapters should work with it. As you see here, it's magnetic. So you just put it on, and it works very simple, and it charges fairly quickly. As you can see from the design of the phone, it's not the most stylish thing out there. It's made of plastic. The band is made of rubber, so it's very flimsy. I don't want to say cheap, but it's definitely not premium. But on the bright side, it feels very comfortable when you put it on your wrist, and it's very light. Most of the time, you don't even notice you're wearing the watch until you feel this part when you're like tapping on a computer or have your hand on the desk or something. But most of the time, you don't even feel the watch because it doesn't weigh you down at all. It's very light, and you can see it's very small. As far as the screen, it's a very small screen, about 1.26 inches, and the resolution is 144 by 168. Doesn't sound like the most impressive because they're small numbers, but remember, it's a very small screen, and you're looking at it from arm's length. So when you're looking at the time, it's going to look clear, it's going to look visible and everything. Right now, it's hard to show because of my lighting setup, but it does include a backlight. This is an e-paper display, so you get two benefits from that. Aside from looking good in the light, when you're outdoors in direct sunlight, it's easier to see. It also has the backlight that can make a little bluish background to make it more visible, so you can see the watch at night. And aside from that, there's a nice little feature that when you shake it, there's an accelerometer sensor in here, a gyroscope sensor. So when you shake your wrist very gently, it automatically triggers the black light. So I don't have to press a button to know the time. I can also, let me just show that real quick. Pebble is a smartwatch, so naturally that means it can connect with your smartphone. That allows you to do things like route notifications from your iPhone or Android directly to the watch. And aside from that, you can actually download different watch faces. So I can say, you know what, I like the way this one looks. I'll tap on it, and it'll automatically install. And now here's a list of all the watch faces that I have installed on my device. What I can do is I can press a little red button to delete one of them, and now that removes it. And I added another one, so when I press the menu button, I can scroll through and select a different watch face. So I think I'll go with the big time that I saw, and now it tells me 2:32. If I don't like that, I can get something a little more traditional, and I'll find that with the classic analog look. So you can download a variety of watch faces. There's probably about almost a dozen in there. There were supposed to be apps available with the Pebble, but they're not launched yet. So at the moment, it's just watch faces. A little disappointing, but the watch options at the moment are nice. Now, your experience is going to differ depending on if you have an iPhone or an Android device. With an iPhone, I can set it to automatically route my notifications, but the way you do that is you go into the standard notification center, you look with Bluetooth, you go to Pebble, and you choose show notifications. Once you turn that on, it's going to show you your iMessage, your text message, and incoming phone calls. It's really nice because you can actually reject the phone call by pressing answer or reject right here. And aside from that, there's not much else you can do just because that's the way that the iPhone is set up. It's a different story when you connect Pebble to an Android device. When you go into the settings menu, you can see that there are far more options for the Android version of the Pebble app. You can also select incoming calls, SMS messengers, calendar reminders, Gmail, the default email app, Facebook, WhatsApp, Google Voice. So it's much easier to manage and more powerful. You can also scroll through messages when they come in, so it's easy to just tap a button to browse through your email messages and go back about doing what you were doing previously. And you can also use a third-party app called Pebble Notifier. With Pebble Notifier, you can select to have all notifications routed directly to the Pebble, or only just a select few apps that you have installed. It's very easy to manage and very easy to do. Aside from telling you the time and sending notifications, Pebble also allows you to control music playback. Now, unfortunately, you can't change volume directly from the device. It'd be much better if you could just hold down to skip forward or skip backward, but you can't do that. All you can do is skip an entire song by pressing the up button or the down button to go back. But you can play and stop at your leisure. So if you don't want to unlock your phone just to get to one button to press play and pause or skip forward to the next song, you can do that with your leisure and then just sing along to the music. And just in case you were wondering, yes, it does work with other apps. It works with the standard music players on iPhone and Android, as well as Pandora, Slacker Radio, Player Pro, and other apps like that. So you will be able to control apps beyond just the default music players. When you're looking at Pebble smartwatch, it's hard to say you're looking at a premium device because in reality, you aren't. The design of it and the materials used make it look like something you can pick up in any sporting goods store for like $40. But this is a $150 watch. Now, obviously, this doesn't make the greatest fashion statement, so if you want something a little more colorful or a little more stylish, the band is replaceable. It works with pretty much most 22mm bands, and you can opt to get red, orange, gray, or white color faces to have it be a little more standing out. But aside from that, aside from the fashion of it, the form and the function work fairly well. It advertised 7 days of battery life, but that's if you don't have all the settings on to the max. When I put everything on, I had Bluetooth enabled constantly, I had the backlight on constantly, and I was frequently using the settings to change the music track, to get notifications, all types of things. I still manage a very long battery life. You see right now it's been on for 21 hours, and this is just not even the first lap. I managed to get 5 days of use out of it constantly running. Now, obviously, the more you use it, the more battery intensive it'll be, and it won't last as long. But because of the e-paper display, you can get a very long battery life, and that's something that I really enjoyed about this. There are some other smartwatches out there that use an LCD, so you won't get you get more color. With this, it's just black and white, and there's a little bit of a bluish tint when the backlight comes up. That's a small issue. With this, you get a lot longer battery life, and you still get some of the function. Unfortunately, it's missing the apps. We were promised apps, we didn't get them. Even though Pebble showed off some prototypes last year and they have an SDK, at the moment all you can do is download watch faces, which while the watches are nice, it's just the early stages of what is supposed to be possible with the Pebble smartwatch. At the moment, it's not the fully realized device that we'd hoped for, but it's still a good watch. It's light, it's comfortable, it rests easy on your hand, and it can do more than your average watch. Is it better than the Motorola watch? I'd say yes. Is it better than Sony? I'd say yes. Obviously, Apple and Samsung are rumored to be entering this space, but when you consider the little things you can do, like create alarms, have notifications appear when you're doing other stuff, I'd say that this is a pretty nice watch, and it's definitely one that I would recommend to someone who doesn't care much about style and is a little more concerned with substance, because this one has a lot of it and it has a very high upside. In the future, this is going to be an amazing device. For right now, it's just a cool device. This is Andrew from Mobile Burn taking a look at the Pebble smartwatch. and it's time for you to decide if you're interested in getting one for yourself.